Alright, so I'm live here for a second. I'll wait for a couple people to come in. Let's see. Hey y'all, I know it's dark. I'm here. So, don't worry. Wait for a few people to come. I'm going to give it, at the 1 minute mark, I'll start talking here. Alright, so I wanted to give an update because apparently my live stream was cut off. As many of you know that were watching the live stream from the rally today, and then I was unable to get the live stream to work again, and then it worked for 3 seconds and it was cut off. So then I tried to do a live stream on Facebook, and Facebook did the same thing, and then I tried again, and Facebook said that I was essentially banned from doing live streams until April 13th. So for whatever reason, I'm able to do a live stream now here. So I wanted to kind of, for those of you that watched the last live stream while I was at the rally in Virginia and Richmond, we were just about to start approaching the Capitol when my live stream died. So we just weren't able to get it back up, and I don't think Greg was able to for a while either. But for whatever reason, my live stream, I was just never able to get back up. So here's kind of an after-action review of the rally, and what I want to start with is kind of what happened prior to the rally, as everyone knows, because I got emails, phone calls, text messages, instant messages. I mean, a lot of people were worried about me and about this rally, because everyone, I'm telling you what, look, what we all need to realize is there are a bunch of complete morons in this country, and they're on our side. That's what's scary. And people share stuff without critically analyzing the information that's being sent. You know, no one questions, oh, a friend of mine, or I've got special intel that this is going to happen or that's going to happen, and no one ever critically questions this stuff. They just kind of pass it all along. And so of course everyone's getting all freaked out that there's going to be a problem. And I'll tell you, I've heard so many times that, oh, CJ, you shouldn't go to this rally. It's, you know, Antifa's going to do this, or the Democrats are going to do this, or there's going to be a false flag, or there's going to be whatever. And then you've got the media, of course, that's feeding into this. Now, I think a lot of this misinformation and this fear-mongering obviously came from the Democrats. They didn't even hide it. The fact that they were trying to scare everybody into not coming. And I think what happened is it had the opposite effect, because if there were threats of violence, owners wanted to be here to make sure it did not happen. And what's funny is one of the guys that I brought up here with me was reading a story about how Governor Northam is now claiming that his, quote, weeks of planning is why there was no violence. Let me tell you something, folks, all right? His weeks of planning didn't do jack diddly squat. If somebody was going to do violence, they could have done violence. There were plenty of opportunities. There were people with rifles everywhere. There were people with pistols everywhere. The only place that those things did not exist was on the Capitol grounds. And those people were basically pinned like a bunch of stuck pigs, dependent on daddy to make sure that the neighbor didn't come over and kick their ass. Who really protected those people on the inside were the people on the outside. The thousands, the tens of thousands of gun owners that were on the outside. And so if Governor Northam thinks that he prevented violence, through his weeks of planning, he's more delusional than a governor should be, than a person in that position of power should be, because that's just stupid talk. There were plenty of opportunities for violent people to be violent. I could have been violent if I were a violent person at any given time. I was stuck often, surrounded by hundreds, as I was moving through the crowd, hundreds of patriots, and if I were a bad guy, I could have simply done my evil deeds, okay? And so instigators had plenty of, I guarantee you that if there were instigators, I'll tell you, no, there's no way it was 200,000 plus. No, I not at all. I would say max, based on the overhead images I've seen and being on the ground, probably, I would say max 120, if that. But I'm going to put it at a safe number of about 75 to 80,000. Okay, that's probably a low number, but I don't like to overestimate. But anyway, I guarantee you that the provocateurs, first of all, there were no provocateurs. These were made up in Governor Northam's head. The provocateurs didn't sit there and go, well, crap, guys, we were going to cause problems at this rally, but Governor Northam put up a bunch of fences. Gee shucks, golly gee willikers, let's go home. That did not happen. That's an ignorant way of thinking, and anybody that believes Governor Northam actually did anything to convince these people that they shouldn't engage in bad deeds is just deluding themselves, okay? Now, if Governor Northam then wants to claim, oh, well, there was no violence because, golly gee willikers, we arrested these 3 so-called white supremacists. Okay, well, if that's the case, then he just shouldn't have needed all those security measures because he arrested the 3 culprits, right? So that logic fails on its face as well, because supposedly he got the bad guys. So anyway, the whole thing's bogus. Here's what's great about this rally. Okay, we're carrying flags. We're carrying, we've got our rifles, we've got our gear. A lot of people were geared up with body armor and stuff like that. And you bump into a lot of people. And, sometimes you turn and maybe the wind will pick up and your flag will smack someone in the face, or you'll get smacked in the face with someone's flag as it flaps in the wind. And, I profusely apologize. Like, oh, I'm so sorry. I can't, the flag of freedom must fly, and that kind of thing. Like, oh, don't worry about it. It's okay. And everybody's just so cordial and nice and professional. Come on, dude. You can come out. There you go. And I think what these, and I'm just going to use the 80,000 number because I'm gonna cut it down the middle between the liberal numbers of 120,000 and the conservative numbers of 65,000 people that were present. But you've got 80,000 people that prove today that an armed society is a polite society. That's what we proved today. None of the Democrat fear-mongering worked. If anything, it emboldened more and more people to show up. I met a lot of great people today from all around the country, but are extremely happy to know, and I think they're emboldened to know that if there is a fight here, they're not alone in that fight. I don't like to kind of pipe up with passengers, so that the only issue that I had or saw was as we were walking back to our car after the rally, the courageous, manly men drove past us at a high rate of speed, yelling, "Fuck off, you fucking assholes," or something of that sort, out the window, and then they took off. So yeah, that was probably the bravest thing I've seen in my life. I've been in combat and haven't seen things as brave as those men who drove by quite quickly and hurled profanities at people on the sidewalk as they drove by. I mean, I wish there were medals for such bravery in civilian life as these brave men did as they drove past. But that's the only negative thing that I saw. Oh no, I'm sorry. One woman or girl, excuse me. Um, it was obviously a woman with a penis, I think. As she walked by, said under her breath, "Jesus Christ." And of course, you know, knowing me, I started looking around, and I had everybody stop, like, "Stop, wait, Jesus Christ is here," like really loud. And I said, "It's finally happened. We've ushered it in with all of these armed patriots." Anyway, that was the only other issue I had saw were those things. Now, I did get over our radio network of that we were on. One of the other teams that was on the other side of the rally of the Capitol, because we were kind of split up into two teams. One of the other teams was talking about 15 Antifa guys that were following Enrique Tarrio around, and but there were no skirmishes, nothing. There was nothing. We get more skirmishes at a women's rally in Austin than we got here at this Virginia rally. So that's the AAR. It was a great event. It's kind of infuriating. I hope people in Virginia do a FOIA request to find out exactly how much the state government wasted on all of the planning and preparation for what everyone else except Democrats knew. I'm just going to let you go. I'm not going to take my eye. I'm not going to look at the chat or anything. I'll go and look later and try to respond to you guys. But if you're in Texas watching this, I hope you're emboldened by what you see today, what you saw today, because this is the same kind of passion that we need in Texas. We shouldn't have to wait until Democrats take over and F everything up, okay? We need to do it now. And on Saturday, the 25th, please go to Austin. There is this is how Texans that could not be here in Virginia, if you couldn't come here, this is how you can show your support for Virginia, is by showing up in Austin on the 25th. Check out our Open Carry Texas Facebook page, the events page for details, and let's show some more support for Virginia in Austin, okay? But and it's not just Virginia we're showing support for. We're also sending a message to our legislators that this is an issue that better not come to Texas. The infestation of Democratic nonsense, gun-dense nonsense better not make its way across the border into Texas. So, just take care, be safe, all of you, and as always, be free.